So in this video, we are going to take up the second problem. Okay. So Dijkstra's algorithm to find out the shortest path method. This comes under the concept of graph theory. Now here the simple graph has been given. Now the first problem we have taken the undirected graph. Okay. Here it is directed graph. Okay. So directed graph, here the arrow symbol you can see that. So it is quite important. Significance is there for arrow symbols. Okay. We will try to analyze that by doing these steps. Now we have to find the shortest path between the A point, A vertex to all other vertex. A means capital A is same as this small a. Okay. So how many vertices are there? A, B, then C, D, E, F and Z. So totally we are having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 vertices. Okay. It is given in alphabetical order itself. Just we are going to write in alphabetical order. And weight of the edges also has been given, and arrows also is being represented. Okay. So first what we are going to write, we are going to write it in what the alphabetical order itself. So starting with A, then B, C, D, E, F and Z. It is not necessary you have to write, but still it's better to write. Now from A vertex to other vertices we have to find. So I am going to assume there are two things. Here permanent label is there for each vertex and temporary label for each vertex it is there. So I'm going to assume from wherever it is starting, from A vertex to other vertices I have to find. So usually we'll start with A vertex itself. So A I'm going to assume it as what? A I am taking here. I'm going to assume it as the 0. So box in the sense I will represent for permanent label. If it is without the box, I am going to represent for what? Temporary label. So this A represents what? The permanent label. So I'm going to write here for A in the graph as permanent label. What about other variables? It will be getting temporary variables. That means the other variables, whatever is there, other vertices, it will be getting the temporary variable as infinite. That's the first procedure you have to do. Remember one thing, in one step in this column, only one variable will be having the permanent label. Okay, you will be understanding that further next step. Now we have to see, since we have taken A as the starting point, we have assumed it as what? Permanent label as 0. So where whatever we are taking the permanent label, to that whatever is connected, whatever the vertices is connected, for that vertices we have to find the new value. Okay, maybe it is permanent label or temporary label, we'll try to analyze. So we are starting with A is connected to B, C and that's all. So B and C both are not having any permanent label, and the direction also you observe, very important. A to B, see we are starting from A, B, the proper direction is A to C also proper direction. If it is the direction is reverse, then we cannot go. So we are not going to find out that particular variable value. But here you can see A and B, A to B, the direction is correct. A to C, direction also is correct. Okay. From A we are starting. Why we are starting from A? Because it has got the permanent label. Okay. So I am going to find out the value for B and C, the new value for B and C. So what is the formula for that? Remember that minimum value of temporary variable, temporary label we can call it as temporary label, comma permanent label plus the weight. Okay. So what is temporary label? Basically means the whatever the value is there below B. So B, what is the value? Infinite. We are going to put infinite. Okay. Comma. What is the permanent label? Permanent label means in one step, as I said, you will be having one permanent label. What is the permanent label? In box it will be there. It is 0. So you have to just write 0 plus. Now minimum value. Sorry, I forgot to write minimum. It is important to write minimum because we are calculating for minimum. So minimum value of infinite temporary comma 0 plus what is the weight? Weight for the A to B, right? A to B, that is 7. So what is 0 plus 7? 0 plus 7, 7 itself. So minimum value between infinite and 7 is 7. So you have got the new value for B, which is 7. Next, C also it is connected to A. So I have to find for C also. So C is equal to minimum value of what is the temporary variable for C. So below C you see. Below C or to C. So here it is infinite. What is the permanent variable? As I said, it is fixed. 0 is a 0 plus. So in one step, remember whatever the calculation you're doing in that particular step, the permanent variable will be fixed. Only the temporary and the weight will be varied. Now what is the permanent variable here? That we wrote 0. The weight between A and C, it is 1. The edge weight you can see. So what is 0 plus 1? It is 1 itself. So the minimum value will be 1. So here we are going to write it as what? 1 below C. What about rest all values? Just to copy it down. Same values you have to copy it down. This A value also same as it is with box. Now in this particular step, in this particular row, you have to find out the new permanent label. Very important. New permanent label. This becomes the old permanent label because A has already got. Every step you cannot take with A. Now A vertex has already got the permanent label. Now next we have to find out. So what you have to do in this particular row, you have to find the minimum value, the least value. Remember, everywhere it is minimum. So in this particular row, find the minimum value excluding the permanent label. So whatever is a permanent label, leave that. What is the other things from other variables, other values, you have to take the minimum. That is 1. So I'm going to mark that particular thing as 1. Now this 1 represents which vertex? It represents C vertex. So C has got the new permanent label. So here I can write the permanent label for C is 1. So this becomes the permanent label for the next step. Okay. So what will be on the left side? Left side it will be C. So whatever the new permanent label is there, that you have to write. That means after calculating all this, then only you can write this part. Okay. Now for the next row, what we are going to do? We are focusing on C. Why C? Because C is the new permanent label. So we have to see where it is connected. To which vertex it is connected. It is connected to F. Now don't see the arrow. Just to see F, D, B, A. Now see the arrows. F, the arrow is towards F, C to F, correct. C to D also arrow is correct. C to B also arrow is correct. But C to A arrow is not correct. It is reverse. So we cannot go there. Anyways, A has already got the permanent label, so no use of going there. But still, the arrow you have to focus on the arrow. Okay. So if A has got the permanent label, there is no need of calculation for A, right? So we have to calculate for B, D, F. So I'm starting with B. Minimum value of what is the temporary value of label of B. B temporary label is 7. Okay. Permanent label. Now don't write 0. What is the permanent label? With respect to C we are calculating. It is 1. So you have to write here 1. Plus what is the weight between C and B? C is the now the main thing, right? C and B. What is the weight? 3. So you have to write here 3. Now what is 7 comma 1 plus 3? 7 comma 4. What is the minimum value of 7 and 4? It is 4. So right here we have got the new value for B, which is 4. Now next thing we have to calculate. So B is done. Next we have to go for C is connected to F as well as D. So we will go for D. So D we have to calculate. D the minimum value. What is the temporary variable for D? You can look into this temporary variable. We have got it as infinite. Okay. Permanent label, it is fixed for these steps, I said. So what is the permanent label for C with respect to C we are calculating? It's 1 plus weight. Weight you can look into this. C is connected to D, the 4. Weight of that edge is 4. Okay. So that means between infinite and 1 plus 4 is 5. Which is the minimum value? It is 5. So now D has got 5 as the minimum value. Okay. Now one more is left out. One more edge which is C. Oh sorry, C and F, right? So F is connected. So with respect to F, you have to calculate. So F is equal to minimum value of temporary variable of F. What is the temporary variable of F? It is infinite. Okay. Now permanent variable, as I said, it is fixed because with respect to C we are calculating. It is 1 plus. Now the weight of C between C and F, you can see the weight. It is 3. So what is 1 plus 3? Directly I am going to write 4. So the minimum value becomes 4. Okay. So the F has got the new value which is 4. Rest all. So 3 variables done. 3 vertices in this particular step. Rest all values just copy paste. Okay, so I have just copy pasted the rest all values. Now in this particular row, we have to calculate what? We have to find the minimum value, right? Minimum. Here also minimum value. In this row, you can see by eliminating the permanent labels. So leave this permanent labels. The rest all things you have to see which is the minimum value 4 and 4. Here we have got the problem because both the, as I said, only one in one step only one can have the new permanent label. Two variables I cannot take. F also D this B also F also I cannot take. So you have to choose one. So how to choose one? It depends on you. You can take either F or either B. You will be arriving at the same answer. There is no difference. So I'll go with B. You can go with F also. Okay. So I'll go with B. So you just put it as B as the new permanent label. So B has got a new permanent value which is 4. Okay. Now we can write here B. If you want, you can take F also. Okay. Because both has got the same thing. Okay. Next. So B, with respect to B, now we have to calculate. So B is connected to E, D, C and A, right? Now we have to see the direction of that also, right? Direction. B is connected to E. Okay, this direction is there, but the problem is there. Okay, while calculating, I'll tell you which one you have to take. Now, anyways, the thing is that the direction is correct. B to D, okay, direction is correct. When B to C, it is not possible because it is ulta. B to C it is not possible because the direction is reverse. Okay. Anyway, C has got the permanent label. No need to calculate. Here also A, you can see the direction is reverse. From B to A I cannot go. A to B I can go, but B to A is not possible. Anyways, A has got the new A has got the temporary A has got the permanent label, so no need to calculate for A. So now what is the variable we have to calculate with respect to B? E is there, D is there. That's all. Two variables. So E and D. So I'll start with D because E little bit complication is there. I'll tell you why. So E is equal to minimum value of temporary label of E. E you can observe here. What is the temporary value we have got? It is infinite, comma. Permanent value. Now with respect to B we are calculating what is the value of permanent label of B? 4 plus. Now the weight. Weight is quite important here because here we have got from B to E, if you see two paths are there, right? But from B to C, I cannot take this path because the direction is reverse. I can take only this path. So what is the weight? I have to consider 8. Don't consider 2. You have to consider 8 because from A to B to E I have to go. B to E. So I am going to consider it as what? 8. So what is 4 plus 8? It is 12. Minimum value between infinite and 12 is 12. So we have got the new value for E which is 12. Now next thing we have to calculate for B is connected to D also. So I will calculate for D also. D is equal to minimum value temporary variable of D. If you observe it is 5, comma. Permanent label it is fixed. It is 4 only we cannot take. We can take only 4 because with respect to B we are calculating, right? So 4 plus the weight between B and D, you can see it is 2. So what is 4 plus 2? It is 6. So between 5 and 6, which is the minimum value? 5. So I have got the new variable value for D. Okay, 5. Okay, done. Rest all things no need to calculate, right? Everything copy paste. Now in this particular row, we have to calculate the minimum value again, right? Leaving out the permanent labels. So in this you have to calculate 5, 12, 4, infinite, which is the minimum value 4. So here we have got the new permanent label which is 4. It represents for F. So F in graph I am going to write it as 4, 8, 4. So here the variable comes 4. Now with respect to F I have to calculate. So F is connected to what all vertices? C connection is there, D, Z and E also. If you observe E also connection is there. But the thing is that F to E the path is correct. Yes, arrow direction. F to Z also correct. F to D also correct. But F to C the reverse direction is there. Anyways, C has got the permanent label, so no need to calculate for that. So rest all you can calculate. Okay. So three variables I have to calculate: Z, E, and D. We'll start with D. Now what is the temporary variable of D? It is 5. Permanent label. Now with respect to F we are calculating, right? So F value is what is nothing but permanent label 4. So 4 plus the weight between F and D, you can see it is 4. Now what is 4 plus 4? It is 8. So I am going to write 8. So minimum value between 5 and 8 is 5. So I have to write here the new value for D is 5. Again same thing I am getting. Now we have to calculate next for E also, Z also. So I will go with E. So E is equal to minimum value of temporary variable of E. It is 12. So I am going to write here 12, comma. Permanent label of not E, permanent label of the previous this step, that is F. What is the value? 4 plus. Now what is the weight of the edge between F and E? It is 10. So I have to write here 10. This becomes 12 and 14. So I can just directly write 14 over here. 12 and 14, what is the minimum value? 12. Just write over here 12. So E has got the 12 as the answer. Next, one more variable is there, which is Z value. So Z is equal to minimum value of temporary variable. So temporary label you can see over here. Okay, what is the temporary label? Temporary label of Z, we can see it is the infinite itself. Permanent label, I said that this particular step we are calculating with respect to F. What is the value? 4 plus what is the weight between F and Z? You can observe it is 7. So 4 plus 7 is how much? 11. So the minimum value will remain what? Infinite, and 11 is what? 11 itself. So we have got the new value for Z, which is 11. The rest all values we have to just copy paste. As I said, we have to calculate this particular row, the minimum value. How to calculate the minimum value? By eliminating all the permanent labels. Now in this 5, 12 and 11, which is the minimum value? 5. So D variable has got the minimum value. So it becomes the permanent label for that. So D has got the permanent label. So you can write in the graph also. So D has got the permanent label as 5. Now we have to do with respect to D itself. So D you write here. Next step will be with respect to D, that you have to take it as permanent label 5. Okay. It is connected to E, B, Z, F, C. D and E there is no connection because here the direction is reversed. Because I have to go from D to E, but the direction has been reversed, so I cannot go. But D to Z it is possible. The direction you can see. So Z variable I have to calculate in this step. D to F also not possible, reverse direction. D to C also not possible, reverse direction. D to B also not possible. So what is the left out thing? Z. Okay. So I have to calculate for Z. And one more thing here, remember, don't think that E has not got the permanent label, so I have to calculate for E. Now as I said, that direction is quite important. First you have to see the direction. Direction in its reverse means directly eliminate that. Now you need to calculate for E. Okay. But in undirected graph, we are just seeing whether it is having a permanent label or not. If E is not having, we are directly calculating. But here we have to see the direction also. With respect to D, we cannot go to E. We can go only to Z. So we have to calculate for Z. Don't calculate for E. So Z we are calculating minimum value temporary variable. What is the temporary variable of E? Sorry, this is not E. Where is that? E. E is this. Oh, sorry. Temporary variable for Z. So the last value here. So it becomes 11. Permanent label, as I said, with respect to D, we are calculating what is the value of D, A, B, C, D, this one. So 5, it becomes 5 plus the weight between D and Z. D and Z, if you observe, D and Z, it is having 2. So I have to write here 2. So 11 and 7, right? 11 and 7, minimum value becomes 7. So Z has got the new value 7. Rest all terms Just copy paste. In this particular row, we have to calculate the minimum value by eliminating what the permanent labels. So what is left out? 12 and 7, which is having 7 is the minimum value. So 7 has got the new permanent label. Which variable is that? It is z. So z I can put it as what? Permanent label as 7. Okay, so it has got now 7. Only left out thing is that e. Next step anyways we'll get it. So here write z. So we'll focus on z. It is a new permanent label. So z is connected to e, f, that's all. D also, right? D also, yes. E, f, D. But from z to d I cannot go reverse direction. Z to f also I cannot go reverse direction. But z to e I can go is the forward direction, right? So z to e I'll go. So for e I have to calculate. So e becomes minimum value. What is the minimum value of e? It is 12. Permanent value we have to label. We have to consider what for z. Z is nothing but 7, which is a new permanent value. 7 plus the weight between z and e. What is that? 2. So we are getting 12 and 9. 9 is the minimum value. So this becomes 9, 0, rest all value same copy paste. Now in this row we have to find the minimum value. Anyways only one value is there. Just directly write the 9 also becomes the new permanent label, which represent which variable? E variable. That was the left out variable e. Okay, so everything has got the values. All the things has got the values. Now we have to consider what? As they have said that from A to other vertices we have to consider the shortest path, right? So in this problem I'll tell you one method to calculate the A to E. What will be the shortest path if we want to go to A to E? From starting from A, I have to go to E directly here, right? What will be the shortest path you can take? Based on direction also you have to consider. If I go from A to B, B to E, it will be how much? 7 plus 8, it will be 15. But the thing is that why we have done the algorithm then? We have to see, focus on the algorithm. Now, so A is the first variable, E is the last variable. In E, if you see E value, which we have got 9, so that means from A to E, the shortest path distance will be 9. A to E, if you want to go, the shortest path distance will be 9. Now, how to approach this? Which way we can take to get the value of 9? Because A, B, E, we cannot go. By algorithm, I'll tell you. By algorithm, see what to do. We'll start from E. Carefully you have to listen, very important. E. We'll go reverse direction. We have to reach A. That means first row we have to reach from last column, last row. 9 will start, which is the E value. Now, I'll make it small so it will be visible. Okay. From 9 I'll go to the previous step, which is 12. Now, if this value is different from this value, which is 9, here it is different, 12 it is there. If it is 9, then no need to jump here. If it is different, jump here. So it is different. So from E, I'll write over here, from E, I am going to jump to Z because it is different value. Okay, stop here. Now carefully you have to listen. Now again no need to jump here. What you have to do? In this column, C for Z value. What is Z value? Here you can observe 7. C for Z value. Okay, from 7 again jump to previous value. Again I am getting what? Different value. So that means we are going to jump to D also. So I am going to jump to D also. Now in this column, C for D value. What is D value? 5. Now jump to previous value. Here I have got the same value as the previous one. So I cannot jump here. Now in this column, C for F value. F is here 4. Again jump to previous value. But here also I have got the same values. Now I cannot jump to B also. Now see in this row B value, which is over here. Again jump to the previous value. This is different. Yes, this is different. Here it is 7, here it is 4. So I have to jump to C. So I'll jump to C. So after D, I'm jumping to C. Be careful with that. Now in this C column, go for C value, which is 1. Jump to the previous value. It is infinite. That means it is different. So different means you have to jump. So A, last value is A. Anyways, you have to reach A. So what is the path I am following? A to C to D to Z to E. From the graph also you can calculate, but still I am telling from this algorithm. A, C, D, Z, E. Okay. A, C, D, Z, E. That path I am taking so that I can get 9 as the shortest distance. So from A I'll start. I'll go to C. Where is C sitting? Okay, C. Then D I have to go. Then Z I have to go. Then E I have to go. This path I am taking. Okay. So I'll use one another pen. Okay, so from A I am starting. I'll go to D. Then Z. Then E. Okay, this path I am taking. What is the value? Value also will verify. 1, 4, 2, 2. 1 plus 4, 5. 5 plus 2, 7. 7 plus 2, 9. It is verified. That means the shortest distance will be A, C, D, E. From the graph also see, after looking this value, that means from A to E, this value, then we can go for that thing. Okay. If you want to calculate from A to Z, what will do? A to Z, same procedure. Z value, Z column you see, Z row you see. What is the Z value here? 7. The shortest distance between A to Z will be 7. Okay, like that you have to verify.